Hello, my name is Pira. Today is December 26th, the second day of Christmas. In many English-speaking countries, and especially the UK, it's also known as Boxing Day. And I had always heard that it refers to the custom of boxing up the leftovers of the Christmas feast and distributing it to the poor on that day. As it turns out, it's not quite clear. Some relate it to the opening of the alms box at church on that day to distribute the money within to the needy. And there's also the theory that it comes from the custom of giving Christmas boxes, Christmas gifts, especially to servants on that day, and often including food as well as money as gratuity for the services rendered throughout the year. In addition, servants would get the day off so they could visit with their own families. To some extent, that is still continued today because most people in Europe have the second day of Christmas off as a holiday. So in many cases, that means you get to visit the other set of grandparents, have another feast, and receive more presents, as well as giving more presents. December 26th also celebrates Saint Stephen, who was a contemporary of Jesus and is considered the first martyr of the Christian church. For full details, you can read chapter 6 and 7 of the book of Acts. But basically, Stephen was chosen as one of seven in good standing, full of the Spirit and of wisdom, to oversee the distribution of food in the community. So that tells us something about his character. And as it often happens, some felt threatened by his authority. They conspired against him and accused him of blasphemy, which ultimately led to his stoning. Stephen is not a saint I was terribly familiar with growing up. I first became aware of him listening to the Christmas carol about King Wenceslas, who went out on the Feast of Stephen to serve the poor in his own community. So that triggered some digging and the discovery of what King Wenceslas was about. He was actually a duke in Bohemia in the 10th century, and he was known for benevolent deeds in his community, especially toward the poor. He reminds me a lot of St. Martin of Tours, whose feast day is November 11th, and of St. Nicholas, whose feast day is the 6th of December. It occurs to me that there's a theme running through the customs of this day and of these group of men, which is faith in action and care for the poor in particular. Now, you could say that these are men just like us, mere mortals, but you could also say that the reason that we admire them and honor them is because they put their money and their actions where their heart is, where their faith is. And it occurs to me that it's a good thing to be reminded that we as mere mortals, what we can do to benefit humankind, especially those who are less fortunate than ourselves. During this COVID crisis, I have been inspired to see the creativity of many mere mortals to share their gifts of money, gifts of food, gifts of music, and good cheer in that same spirit. Merry Christmas.